What's going on, y'all? Your boy Darius here, back in for another video, and this time we are here with my review of Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts. And man, I have to tell you, Marvel is back. I'm not gonna say Marvel is back. That's probably the question you're most wondering: is Marvel back? Well, if you thought Marvel left to begin with, I will say, no, Marvel's not back. Because this might be a little bit of a rant at the beginning here. Bear with me here. When people, go the whole like Marvel's back in terms of going back, what is Marvel going back to? Most people are thinking Phase 3. Because if you look at Phase 3, even though it contains some movies that I absolutely loathe, Phase 3 probably had the longest winning streak of like hit after hit, bam, 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 bam. Like, it had like it had Civil War Phase 3? I think Civil War was Phase 3. They had like Guardians 2, Infinity War, Black Panther, Ragnarok. For most people, I don't like Ragnarok, but for most people, there's just like another hit. It's just banger after banger after banger. So that's probably what most people think. When most people are thinking to the glory days of Marvel, they're just thinking Phase 3. Me, I'm thinking Phases 1 and 2, where like you will get some hits, then you get some stinkers, and then you go back to a hit. You get a couple more hits, maybe another stinker. But Marvel, since Endgame, in Phases 4, 5, and now 6, it's been a lot more of a tennis match. It's been a lot of, good, that's crap. Good, that's crap. What is that? It's been a whole lot more back and forth in terms of quality with Marvel, a lot more inconsistency than ever before. So when I think of the whole is Marvel back thing, for Marvel to be back, they need like a solid 3-win streak of movies. And I'm not necessarily talking about box office, I'm talking about quality. Okay? So you can look at Brave New World. I like that movie a lot. It's divisive, I think, for a lot of people. Definitely critics hate it, but, it seemed like most fans enjoyed it. Would I consider that a win? I don't know. I wouldn't give that the definitive win. I think Thunderbolts is like a definitive win. This is a really damn good top 10 MCU movie, which it is in my opinion. This is a top 10 MCU movie, man. This movie's great. More on that later. And I will be doing a non-spoiler section and a spoiler section, just so you know. But I think Marvel is poised for that Marvel is back feeling with this movie. If Fantastic Four is as good as I hope it will be, that will be another one. And then you'll have Avengers Doomsday, which I feel like is impossible for it to not be good. Like, there has yet to be a bad Avengers movie. Age of Ultron, a little bit of a letdown. I wouldn't call it a bad movie. There is yet to be a bad Avengers movie, and I don't think we're going to start with Doomsday. Okay, so they have an opportunity to start a win streak. Then you got Brand New Day is after Doomsday as well. My God, they have a chance to go on a run. And I think that run starts with this movie, Thunderbolts, which of course is about a group of anti-heroes, not even necessarily villains. I know people would be like, it's the Marvel Suicide Squad. In the comics, to an extent, maybe, but these guys aren't villains. Like, Yelena's not a villain. Neither is John Walker, even though he kind of was for a point. Same thing with Ghost. Ghost is, of the group of characters in this team, Ghost and Taskmaster. Ghost and Taskmaster are probably like the ones who were actually full-on villains at one point. And even then, they weren't like completely evil or anything. They're just a little messed up, a little twisted. They have had some dark times, and that is the overall message of this film in terms of taking these characters, people who have been used, people who have, they've gone through their battles with themselves, and just whatever situation led them to making the wrong decisions that they made, and every single one of these characters have made a bad decision at some point in their lives. Whether it was for themselves or whether it was for, another outside force controlling them, manipulating them, whatever. It's all about coming out of that darkness and finding a way to come out of that darkness and realizing that you can't do it alone. Okay? It's a wonderful message about mental health in that regard. Like, as someone, I suffer from, mental health, I'll say depression. Like, there are times where I've gotten depressed. Definitely back in high school, dude. High school was stressful. I was depressed as hell. I have moments where, like, I'll get a little bit depressed, I'll get a little bit down, and eventually I will come out of it, but usually not alone. It's not like a thing where I'm just like, I'm down, and the next day I'm up again. That's not me. That could be some people. It's not me. But at the end of the day, in order to tackle that problem and deal with that problem, you need people around you. You can't do it alone. There's certain things in life you can't do alone, and battling mental health is certainly one of the top ones. Okay, got a little heavy for you there, but this movie is heavy at points in terms of that, conversation, in terms of that message. Each character goes through that, and sort of the main character to deal with that is Bob. Now, if you're a comic fan, or if you really know what's going on here, you know who Bob is. But I'm not gonna talk about who Bob is just yet. Not until, I know the trailers did show, they showed the void. So like, but there wasn't really a. I'll leave it at this. Bob is a really good part of this movie. Really great addition to the movie. Lewis Pullman, fantastic. He is like the standout for me, and I'll touch more on that later in the spoiler section. But this movie was kind of, it's Yelena's movie because she's the lead of the film in its entirety. There's so much about her in this film, and then Bob as the new guy coming in is the standout. And I think the team dynamic in general was really well done. Each of them carrying on their respective personalities and it all meshing together. And then you add in, Bucky with all his baggage coming in, and it worked well. I think honestly, like if I'm thinking of the standouts, I'm thinking, Bob, Yelena. Right there at third is Wyatt Russell as John Walker, U.S. agent, because he's so he's different in this than he was even in Falcon Winter Soldier. This is a John Walker who has clearly gone through some more stuff after the fall of him being Captain America. Like Falcon Winter Soldier sort of left it open, like, oh yes, he's now the U.S. agent. Oh wow, he's gonna do his own thing, and he's in a good place. But by the time you get to this movie, things have happened in his personal life, and he's not okay. All right, like he's angry. He's an asshole. He's so fun though. Like this is probably like as much as I really loved him in that show, and like the way that he was just like a good dude, but he would go too far, and the pressure of being Captain America was just on him. If you look at U.S. Agent in the comics, U.S. Agent is very much the asshole Captain America, kind of like Peacemaker in that regard. And he is that in this movie. He's the asshole Captain America, but there's a reason for that, and they dive into it in the movie. Action, I know a big part of what they were saying in the lead up to this was like there's a lot of practical stunts and things. Very true. Like there are very few characters in this movie who have like flashy powers and stuff, and obviously when they're doing their thing, it's CGI. But I definitely could feel with the action, with the camera work, it was an attempt to make this feel a little more grounded in that sense. Obviously, when powers aren't flying all over the place. And speaking of that, what you might appreciate about this movie in terms of its ending is that it doesn't end in your traditional Marvel movie, superhero movie. Punch the bad guy a bunch of times and we beat him, we won. It's not that. The way the movie ends is much more personal, much more intimate, and all around much more interesting. And I really loved the ending. I know for those of you who want this just super punchy action ending, you're not going to get that. I'm just letting you know that out the gate. You're not going to get that. And I think the movie was better off for it. Val, who we've seen a few times in the MCU, the most time we've got to see her in a movie before this was Wakanda Forever. But like she's in this so much more. She's one of the main characters in this, and they do give a whole lot more to her. You find out more about who she is, why the way she is, and I think she knocked out the park. This is her best outing as Val, and I very much look forward to see what comes next with that character. And yes, they do in this film tell you what the asterisk stands for, and I'm not going to talk about it yet, not until the spoiler section, which will begin in a little bit. Okay, let me give my grade first. I would say this movie is a solid 8.5 out of 10. My biggest problems were some of the humor moments. There were moments, especially with like Red Guardian, where like he's very funny. Other times, I'm just like kind of overcooking it a little bit. It's not that funny. It's not that funny. Like there are definitely moments where like you could tell they kind of expect the audience to laugh at this, and just like no, like I don't think there was a joke that got me like belly aching laughing. There's some moments where I like, chuckle. I just like, ha, that's pretty. All right, I like that. Yeah, but nothing too crazy in terms of humor. But that wasn't the focus of this movie. This wasn't your typical Marvel, humor face. This wasn't Love and Thunder. Put it that way. Love and Thunder felt like an SNL sketch, and this was not that. This was a lot more personal, a lot more grounded in terms of its themes and concepts. And I really enjoyed it. Solid 8.5 out of 10. It is definitely a top 10 MCU movie for me right now. Ranking wise, I have it sitting at number 7 in my top 10. All right. I believe just after it, it's like Wakanda Forever, Guardians 3, and then Deadpool Wolverine. I think that fills out like the rest of that. So yeah. Really enjoyed it. Cannot recommend it enough. Go watch it, man. If you were on the fence about it, it's a really good time. Stay for the post-credit scene. There's a mid-credit scene too, which is kind of whatever. Like if your theater has like, I don't know. Like if you want to go to the bathroom when the mid-credit hits, you can do that. And then come right back for the post-credit scene. Because the post-credit scene is really damn important. It is kind of back to that feeling of old MCU in terms of post-credit scenes. And be like, oh my God, that has implications for what's coming out. Oh, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, stick around for that. Anyway, now we begin the spoiler talk, the spoiler thoughts. And I have to, all right, this is final warning before, because you can't even see what shirt I'm wearing. Final warning, spoilers start now. Oh my God, they did my boy. So much justice. I wore the Sentry shirt. This Sentry shirt's got like different panels and stuff in comics. Sentry, the shirt came yesterday, right in time. Bob, of course, Robert Reynolds, Sentry. This movie is probably one of the most faithful adaptations of a Marvel character ever. I'm not saying it is the most, because there's some differences between Sentry in this movie and in the comics, but so much of him is kept the same. So much of him, like they talk about the fact that he's a meth head. Like, dude was a meth head junkie, which is like the first meth mention in the MCU, which is crazy. I don't remember him having like an abusive father. I don't remember that from the comics. That could very well be a thing. I could just not remember that. But they add that in, which adds a whole lot for why his mental health is the way it is. But they do focus on his mental health, which is a good thing, because that is a big part of the Sentry character. That's what keeps him from just being, Marvel Superman. Like a lot of people say, hey, he's Marvel Superman. Hyperion is more like that. Sentry has aspects of it, like when he is the Sentry, when he is the Golden Guardian of Good, which they do say at one point in the movie. Sure, he's kind of supposed to be like this all perfect golden boy, golden child character like Superman, but he has his problems. They even say that dude has the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. Like, there's so much that happens. I was just like, yes, this is Sentry. Yes. The Void is a big thing. They don't make the Void in this movie. Like, in the comics, it's sort of been up for, I don't know, interpretation or debate whether or not the Void is simply an aspect of his powers, like the bad side of his being, his other personality or whatever, that does this bad stuff and manifests because of how powerful he is, or is it a separate entity altogether? There was like, I think one comic, Norman Osborn said it was the freaking Angel of Death. That's what the Void is, and is it this cosmic entity? They don't go too far into that. Maybe we'll get more of that in Doomsday or Secret Wars. Kind of hope we don't. I kind of hope we keep Sentry simple in that respect. But it is very much treated in this movie as just like the bad side, the darkness within him. And it comes out, and anytime anyone touches him, they'll go into a memory of like a dark period in their life, and they relive it, and it's wonderful. It's wonderfully executed. And eventually at the end, seeing the trailers when he's turning people into shadows, he's not, killing these people. He's sending them into the Void, into some memory of them doing something terrible or something terrible happening to them. And it's at one point, it just takes over like the entirety of Manhattan. Any hero, any other Marvel character not in this movie that lives in Manhattan, bro, they went through some stuff. Okay, Wilson Fisk is like, he's the mayor right now. The mayor's office is in Manhattan. I looked that up after the movie. Mayor Fisk probably saw him beating his dad with the hammer again, or like a time where his dad beat his mom again. Daredevil probably saw, I don't know, like his dad get killed or something, even though he wasn't there for that. He saw the aftermath. But like, what I'm saying. Spider-Man, Peter Parker, at the end of No Way Home, he actually lives in Manhattan because he was by the Rockefeller Center. So he's probably seeing Aunt May get killed by the Green Goblin again. Like, I feel like that's the fact that that's what happened. I was not expecting that. Like, when that trailer dropped, I'm like, this dude is turning people into shadows. These people are dead. But the fact that they're not dead, they're just being sucked into the void and seeing like just terrible, awful things, is somehow worse than being dead. It's worse. And a lot of it, they do spend a lot of that with Yelena in the movie in terms of her backstory as a Black Widow, and all the terrible things she had to endure and go through, such as setting up like her friend to get shot. It's messed up. Speaking of Yelena, I was not expecting to walk away from this movie shipping the hell out of Yelena and Bob. Yelena and Sentry, bro. Like, I don't know if the movie intended for it to be romantic, but it very much felt like that. It could just be friendly. It could just be, like she might see him as like a younger brother or something. I don't know. But I very much got kind of a romantic. I kind of got a Hulk and Black Widow vibe. You remember Hulk and Black Widow's romance in Age of Ultron? Kind of came out of nowhere. This right here, what they set up, what they did with Sentry and Elena, felt like a better version of that, in that we get to actually see it developed. Like, it's way more developed. By the end of it, I'm just like, dude, go ahead, Bob. Go ahead, Bob. Like, they don't explicitly make it, a romantic thing, but it could be interpreted that way. And I'm sure now, as people are watching this movie, there's probably a bunch of people going to be going on fan fiction sites and writing some Bob and Yelena, stuff. Which, hey, more power to you. Going back to Sentry, going back to Bob. When he becomes the Sentry, when he shows up in his outfit, in his blonde hair, it was the most glorious thing I've ever seen, dude. Just seeing that suit in live action, bright ass yellow, he's got the big belt buckle, but even when he's the Sentry, he's not sure of himself. He's still being, much like everyone else on the team, he's being controlled by someone else, being controlled by Val, being manipulated by her, and turning him against the crew, because the crew, like, they were all trying to protect him. They were all trying to save him from her, as a matter of fact. Like, Yelena is, like, the one who is always, like, she's like, I have to get Bob. We have to protect Bob. And everyone else sort of fell along with that. But Val turns him against them. And the fight scene that ensues, is so good because he's no-selling so much. Like, again, you have to remember, these are super soldiers, and I'm pretty sure Elena's just a regular human. He's like super soldiers, super assassins, and Ghost. And they can't do nothing with him. They can't do anything with him. And it's like a oneer, like that scene. I think it's like a one-shot take. Or maybe there was some like mixed-in cuts, but like it was so good. And the fact that he was just eating punches, yeeting people all over the place. All right, like, but catches Bucky's arm, rips it off, and hits him with it, and throws it to him. He bent John Walker's shield, which I have no idea what that shield is even made out of. I got into the movie kind of late. I got into it around the opening, around the point where they're already in the kill room is when I got in and sat down, which Taskmaster apparently died. Like, I was talking to a friend. Apparently Taskmaster gets shot in the head by Ghost, and that's just the end of her. We all knew she was going to die. The trailers and everything else has showed us that she's going to die, but I was expecting her to die by Sentry's hand, or the Void's hands, and she just got shot. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I hated her in Black Widow. That was a stupid version of the character. Make way for Tony Masters, man. Anyway, yeah, like, I have no idea I don't know if they ever said, I don't know if I missed them saying what John's shield is made out of, but he bent that like a taco, which is what John said. Sentry's a problem. Sentry's a problem, and the movie knows he's a problem because they end it by having him basically bench himself. He's like, I can't be the Sentry. I can't be the Sentry, because if I become the Sentry, then I might become the Void, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So that tells me, because we know he's going to be in Avengers Doomsday. Avengers Doomsday, he's going to have to sack up, unleash the Sentry, and fight Doom. And probably lose, which I hate, because reality, Sindri will whoop Doom's ass. But if this is like God Emperor Doom with the power of the Beyonders and that stuff, okay, sure, fine. But yeah, dude, the ending that actually ties to the ending in terms of what they do. They go into the void. They kind of try to talk no jutsu him. He has to confront himself and fight the void physically and stuff. And they get him out of there. And then, of course, that goes to what the asterisk means. And a lot of people assumed, oh yeah, the asterisk means that the title is going to change and they're going to be the Dark Avengers or just the Avengers. We were all pretty close. I'm sure people said, oh yeah, they're going to be called the New Avengers. That's exactly what they're called. Because Val spins it. She spins it because, people see them, saving people as the Void's going crazy and nuts and turning people into shadows. And then at the end there, she's like, ah, yes, I've been assembling the New Avengers. And they just sort of have to roll with it. Which, if anything, Val just has to roll with it because they can easily blow the whistle and all that stuff. And, yeah, so like Bob is just like, he's not even in a Sentry uniform. Bob is just sort of the guy with them. And I love the credits as the credits are playing. Like they show all the headlines. Just like, who are these B Team Avengers? Who are these people? These people suck. Who's this dude named Bob who just hangs around them? And of course that goes to the post-credit scene. The mid one's all right. Post-credit scene, very important. So they are the New Avengers. Like Bucky is like from the comics. He has like his Avengers like logo in his arm and stuff, and like his hair is longer. Everyone's got new looks. They are the New Avengers. And Sam, I love the fact that Sam is not on board with it. Sam's just like, bro, Ross just told me to reassemble the Avengers. I'm trying to do this, and then you people just come. You're the New Avengers now. Well, I'm sorry. And he apparently like copyright trademarked the Avengers team. So it's just like, what are they gonna call themselves? Yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see in Doomsday in terms of like the two Avengers teams and like them butting heads, but then obviously having to work together to stop Doom and maybe working together with the X-Men or more importantly, the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four, they show up. Like we don't see them, but we see their ship. I was not expecting that, okay? When they were saying, oh yeah, there's something going on in space and then now there's an object, there's an unidentified flying, I keep dropping this pen. There's an unidentified flying object coming through, and then they look at the satellites. I'm thinking, are we going to see Doom already? Is Doom already coming? What? I was fully prepared for Doom or something. I was not prepared to see the Fantastic Four spaceship. As soon as it blew, went up the image, and I was just like, that's the freaking Fantastic Four ship. I was one of the few people to catch on real quick. But then they started playing the music, and then it shows like the four on the thing. Dude, that is like classic Marvel right there. That's a classic Marvel post-credit scene. That was great. And I know some people might be upset. Oh, they spoiled the ending of the Fantastic Four movie. They're just going to get away. How did you think that was going to happen? They're in a different universe. Galactus is coming. They have to somehow get to our universe in order for the Doomsday, movies and stuff. So it seemed pretty clear. Anyone with a brain and functioning eyes could surmise that, oh yeah, Galactus is going to probably destroy their planet and they're going to have to flee. Hell, in the trailer, like Reed on his whiteboard or whatever, he's searching up, like he's trying to figure out multiversal travel. We knew this was coming. And plus, if you really want to spoil it, the Doomsday casting announcement with the chairs spoiled everything in terms of like, oh yeah, these people will live to see the end of this movie. The Fantastic Four are in it. We knew it was coming to this point. I just wasn't expecting to see that in this movie at the post-credit scene. I was texting a buddy of mine. He said that the effect was kind of lost on him because as the credits were rolling and they get to the music section, he happened to look up right as I said the Fantastic Four First Steps theme, and he's just like, what? Fantastic? What? When was that in the movie? And then the post-credit scene happens, and he's not as surprised. Me, absolutely floored. I was like, no fucking way. This is really good. This movie's really good. I'm trying to think anything else spoiler-wise I can talk about that's of note. Yeah, Taskmaster's dead. Bring in Tony Masters. These band of misfits are now the New Avengers, which I can't wait for Doomsday. I cannot. Anyway, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. What did you think of Thunderbolts? Have you seen it? Okay. Have you seen Thunderbolts? Do you plan on seeing Thunderbolts? Let me know in the comments down below. If you have seen it, drop your grade in the comments. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up, man. Like the video for the algorithm. Hit notification bell so you don't miss out on any new upload. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.